Hey fam, so you're mad and you are totally ticked off with your spouse. You didn't like the way he was talking to you. You didn't like the way she said no. You didn't like the way you asked the question. You got automatic attitude. And so now you have an attitude. You are pissed off. You don't even like yourself right now because of how pissed off you have gotten, or that you have allowed your spouse or partner to get you. So what do you do to get over being mad? How do you get over being mad faster? Today, I want to give you 6 ways to get over being mad faster so you guys can get back to loving on one another. But also, it's just going to give you some food for thought, because lots of times we play the blame game. We like to blame it on our spouse or our partner, and we don't like to take the blame for anything. Like, you did it. You did this to me. That's why I reacted the way that I did. Instead of saying, hey, I wonder if they were just having a bad day. Like, you're not stopping to think, to give your spouse the benefit of the doubt that they didn't mean to say X, Y, and Z, that they didn't mean to talk to you in such a harsh tone. You automatically took offense to it. Now, I get it. I'm not excusing your spouse's behavior or the way that they decided to speak to you in that moment. That's not what I'm doing. However, I'm giving you some things to think about so you can get over being mad a lot faster, so you can get back to being in a healthy state of mind as well as having a healthy relationship. So the very first thing that you need to do is really just ask yourself, what role did I play in making this become an issue? What role did you play in making whatever issue, whatever problem that went downhill, the conversation went awry? What role did you play in making the issue bigger than it needed to be? The second thing I want you to think about is how you currently respond when something happens that takes you off, that takes you over the point, that makes you get pissed off, that makes you get angry, that makes you lash out. How do you currently respond when something in life happens to you? Whether it's with your spouse or if it literally is something outside of your control. How do you respond? And if you're responding like right off the top of your head, I'm about to get you right back, that's not the correct way to respond, especially in your relationship. That's not going to get it back to a healthy state any faster. You're playing right into the arms, really, of keeping it toxic. See, it's up to you to make that decision to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of having the same conversation or responding in this same manner. Now it's time for me to grow up. It's time for me to mature. And so how do I do that? This is how I respond now. And then, number 3, ask yourself, how do you want to respond? So this is how I respond, number 2. Number 3, how do you want to respond? Take some time to think about that. Like, literally sit down, get in your quiet space, and think about, how would you like to respond when life doesn't go your way? How would you like to respond whenever your spouse comes at you in a wrong manner, in a wrong tone, in a just really lashing out at you type of way? You didn't do anything wrong in that moment, so maybe they're taking something out on you that they're going through themselves in life, period. So how would you like to now respond, especially since you are aware that you're not responding in a beneficial way for either one of you currently? So how do you want to respond now? Also, I'm going to back up also. How do you feel after you respond in that manner. So I'm backing up. So actually in between the last 2 points, this is that point. So really this is point number 3, and the last one was point number 4. But I'll clean it all back up for you. So don't worry. I don't want to confuse you. So point number 2 is, how do you currently respond? Now this is real point number 3. Point number 3 is, when you respond that way, the way that you respond currently, how do you feel after you respond that way? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel ashamed? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel angry? And all of those questions are directed towards you. Are you feeling that way towards yourself because you weren't able to handle the situation better? Just something to think about. Like, how do you actually feel after you respond in a hateful manner? Let's just call it what it is. Now, number 4, which I already mentioned, which is to, how do you want to respond? Yeah. How do you want to respond? How do you want to respond? Number 5, focus on the issue, not how your partner responded or how they delivered the message to you. Yeah. We have to refocus ourselves on the real issue behind the words, the real issue behind the lashing out, the real issue behind them coming to you in an unhealthy manner. What's the real underlying reason why they are acting out right now, currently? Because they're acting out. Now you feel that you have to act out too. But you don't have to, because you have the choice and the responsibility to only correct yourself. You can't correct anybody else. You correct anybody else's behavior. Only behavior that you can correct and make sure it's coming off in a great way is your own. That's it. Can't control nobody else. So, yeah. Number 6, behind that message, behind that delivery, behind that tone, your spouse is actually crying out and telling you that they're hurting without actually saying the words, "Hey, babe, I'm hurting." That lashing out, that coming at you in the wrong way, that being very difficult for no reason. Maybe I'm shutting down, shutting you out. The message behind that is that they're hurting in some type of way. And how are you able to show up and help them through their hurt? How are you able to show up and say, you know what, I actually hear you. Yeah, I didn't like the way that you just came to me. I didn't like what you just said to me. I didn't like how you said it to me. Your message, your delivery actually sucked. However, what I do hear is that you're hurting. So let's talk about the real issue behind you being mad, behind you being frustrated, behind you actually blaming and putting this issue that you're having on me. Let's sit down and talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee if you become this mature person, this aware person, this conscious person of how you are showing up, responding, when you guys are getting into an argument, number 1, there will be few, far and in between arguments, especially if both of you are mature enough to handle said conversations like this. You can get over being mad faster if you implement these simple 6 steps. Think about how you're showing up. Think about how you're responding. Think about how you feel after you respond that way. Then think about how you would like to respond. Don't focus on the delivery of the message. Focus on that this person is underlying the issue, underlying the problem. They are hurting. Your spouse is hurting. He's actually crying out for help. She's crying out for help. Are you there? Are you willing to show up and actually help him or help her out? I'm your favorite life and relationship strategist, MarshaunO. And if you need help within this area of your life, reach out to me. I'm willing and ready to help you guys. I love you guys, and there is nothing that you can do about it. I'll talk to you guys later.